Welcome everybody, welcome to our incredible cooking experience. I'm David Sponheim. Today is chutney pork rice, $5 for 5 meals. This is incredible. I've got some pork I want to show you. Let me get it out of the refrigerator. All right, I've got some really nice sirloin steaks here, pork sirloin. Every single day, I usually get a baggie that is kind of like previously used. So I'm going to take and throw those steaks in a baggie, and I'm going to marinate them. I'm going to flash marinate them. Very interesting. This is something that you may want to try if you've never tried it. It really works fast, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Anyway, today is going to be chutney. I happen to have a container of Major Gray's chutney, which I'm going to use half of this container. It happened to be 25 cents. It was a markdown. You see the X on it. I picked that up at a wholesale food store. I'm going to use about an eighth of a cup of cider vinegar, which could also be replaced by any type of a juice. I'm going to use one container of pears. You could use peaches, you could use mangoes, you could use whatever you want. And I've got some blueberries I used in my health food drink that I didn't quite drink, so I'm just going to put that in the mix. Antioxidants. Are you ready? Okay. I'm kind of getting jazzed here because I've got rice. And we got some non-GMO rice here, which is pretty cool, GMO free, with some jasmine rice, broken rice, that is also GMO free. I do a mix of wheat, brown and white rice, so it's a mixture. Glad to see you're in. Hey, chow time, Scissor Fight's in. Hey man. So, let's get started. I'm also going to use a couple of ingredients from the kitchen. One celery stick, and a couple carrots, which I will rinse right now, along with pork, separately of course. All right. Very nice. Yeah. And I always rinse the pork off because you don't know what kind of bacteria may be on it. These slabs have a little bone in them, but I'm going to leave that bone in there. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, David.
And we're going to go ahead and prepare the amazing pork in that plastic bag right now.
Do they have a cooking section at Vaughn? I didn't even know. I could go. I'll go there right now.
Now you can put a lot of these things in the bag. So the blueberries go in the bag. Anything you have. But the carrots and celery remain out. I'm also going to need an onion for this dish.
They have people, Spanish, music cafe, news, tech, nature, miscellaneous, lifestyles, creative. I'll put them in creative for now.
Okay, I'm going to put I'm going to take the juice from the can and put it in with the pork. So I'm going to drop that pork in the bag, like as such. You know, I'm going to take the bone off. I just realized I don't really want the bone in there. So I'm just going to pack this with a good saw blade and pull it out. I guess when you get a sirloin, you're supposed to get it boneless, but this could be a blade steak for all I know. But a basic trim of the bone off, okay. And I'll put that in the plastic bag as well. And I got a little teeny bone in this one. That little bone. Naughty little bone there. And it looks like I have another little bone I gotta get rid of here. Ever so small in the corner. All right. Nothing's perfect. This is not perfect pork. We have to have perfect pork here. All right, that's good enough. That little piece of fat I don't need, a grizzle, whatever. Meat goes inside the bag. Wash hands off in the sink so you don't contaminate the food. Okay, that bag is dried on the outside. I'm going to move it over to the chopping board here. All right. I'm going to throw some of that pear juice inside the bag. Like I said, you could use anything. You can use a little vinegar. I'm going to throw about 1/8 of a cup of vinegar in there. There we go. And I'm going to throw 1/2 a container of Major Chutney's sauce. There we go. Thank you. Well, we're going to slap this. Oh, no, no, no. No, it's not going to be one of these things. It's going to test my entire strength here. This has been closed for about 7 years, I think. And you can't have wet hands when you do this. Ah, got it. See, pounding it really helps. Okay, that's going in the bag. Lob it right in there. Come on. Major Chutney, get in there. Get in there, Major Chutney. Major Chutney, I told you. Oh, that's quite a bit. Yeah. I used 1/2 of the container. That's not bad. All right, we'll save the other 1/2 for another time. Otherwise, it'll be too salty. All right, now let's get busy. Let's pound that meat. I'm going to set this on a nice clean plate. Zip that zip. Zip that zip. Get my wooden mallet. You can use a metal mallet. Mix all that up together. Let's start pounding away. Hopefully if there's no leaks in the bag, it won't be flying out at you. Move it around. I call this a flash marinade. It does look like I have a little teeny leak in that bag. It must have been the recycled one that we decided to recycle 12 times. Pound that meat. Pound it. Okay. I'm going to prepare with clean hands. I'm going to let that set. And I'm going to prepare my carrots and my onion. No anger issues. We're good. Let me get the mic on, hot mic on the actual food. There we go. I love the sound of peeling. Isn't that cool? Feel the cooking. Sense what I'm doing. Experience the beauty of food. Hot mic. You're going to hear all the up-close things here. Hot mic in the city. Okay, there we go. I'm going to pull off any inconspicuous little imperfections. That is a nasty little imperfection you're looking at there. There we go. Okay, we're gonna get those guys in a line and give them a little slice. These are all going in the rice. You can make them about a 1/4 inch thick, making sure your fingers are not in the slicing procedure itself. Using one knife, or one end of the knife, you can actually use it as a pivot point and go like that. Isn't that nice? Take off the back end of the cabbage. Anything that doesn't look edible. Double stack. Okay, celery has a little salt in it, so it'll add a little flavoring to the rice. I'm gonna get that pan. Get the hot mic on the pan. Let's start that burner up at a level 4. Okay? How we all do today? How's life? How's life treating you? You can't hear anything? What, can you hear this? Okay, you're wondering what I'm going to do with the pear juice, right? And you're wondering, well, I've got downtime. Why don't you just be pounding your meat, Dave? You're right. No need to slow down. Why does it have such a small little antenna? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Thank you. All right, good. We're going to wine and dine everybody here. Dropped a mic. Okay, here we go. $31. Look at this. Pretty good. With stand and everything. It's a dynamic mic. Even has an on-off switch. You know, I was talking about getting one for $1,000 recently, but I don't have any idea what I can get for $1,000. Does anybody know what kind of mic I can get for $1,000? I want one of those big studio mics, the kind that Walter Cronkite had. August 4th, 2016. I'm David Sponheim. Okay, here we go. Look at that purple and the pork. Have you ever seen purple pork? It's disgusting. Pound that pork. Make sure all that chutney sauce gets mixed up on it. Now you can put all kinds of vegetables, vinegar, whatever you want in there. It doesn't really matter what you put in the bag, as long as it's acidic, fruity, okay? And you can forget the chutney part, just make it Hawaiian pork. Pound that pork. Now that pan's getting hot. Wow. Some people just don't know how to leave well enough alone. Yeah. This show is historic. Let me go /guest off here. Yeah, the death threats are amazing. I mean, we get these people all the time. But thanks, guests, for coming in. I don't want to cut you off just temporarily. But wow. They know that if I get any mainstream media attention, the whole country's going to want me as the president. Pound that meat. Take out your aggression. That guy on the freeway that cut you off, don't get angry at him. Pound your pork. All right. If you're Jewish or Muslim, this show does not apply. You can apply chicken, boneless chicken, to replace the pork. Remember, pork is the other white meat. Okay, we got a hot stove coming in here, getting warm. You got to wait for that to get warm before you actually put oil in it. Now, I would use, if this is an ideal world, I would use peanut oil, or safflower oil, or sunflower oil. But because I'm down to olive oil, I've got this great olive oil I picked up for $1.50 for a whole container. I'm going to squirt a lot of that in there, about 3 tablespoons. Okay, and get that sucker hot. Now level 4, it's going to get sizzling hot. We're going to go for a hot mic on that particular item. Ah, celery on my tootsies. Okay, now remember the celery and all that going into the rice dish. And the rice, I use a screen to put stuff in. So I'm going to put white rice on the bottom of the screen. And I'm going to fill this up halfway with white red jasmine broken rice. Preferably non-GMO if you can find it. And we'll go for the non-GMO whole grain brown rice. We'll top that off. Nice healthy supply. As you know, I use a rice cooker, a steam rice cooker. I can put a little bit more in there. And it cooks it very efficiently. We're talking about 25 minutes to make rice. And that's over here. That's in the distance over here, the rice, which I'm putting away. Thank you for joining me. So glad we were able to get together today and have this special chat. I'm going to put the vinegar back. The chutney goes back in the refrigerator. Okay. Ta-da! Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, that's getting hot. I'm going to prepare the onion. Now we've always seen how I do that. Let me move the hot mic. I can smell that nice warm olive oil. I'm ready for the sizzle. It's begging me, David, throw this in the sizzle. I'm going to take a half of this onion, roughly, and dice this little guy up. I think we sharpened my knife last time I did this. I'm not sure, but get that sizzle. All right. You can throw a little bit of the carrots and celery in there. Uh-oh. I'm tearing up here. Gotta get this onion trimmed. Finish the dice, Dave. Tearing up. Get ahead of it. One of the things you can do with an onion that you're tearing up with is put it under water. But I'm not going to do that right now. Okay. 1/4-inch slices. This is for the ricer. I'm going to plug this ricer in. Okay. I always use wooden spatulas. All right. I'm going to take this nice jelly, nice thing here. And I'm going to pound this meat some more. All right. Okay. That mix that was in the plastic bag is going right on the grill. Here we go. Pour everything that you have in the plastic bag right in there. Press it out. Get all the juice. Position it over the high flame. Take that flame up to 5 or 6. Okay. And cover it up. There we go. Then take the plastic bag. Remember those bones that no one wanted? We'll throw those bones inside the plastic bag. And you can dispose of it in a safe place, like a compost heap. Family recipe, yeah. It's from the old country, actually. In the old days, they used mutton. And sheep was common in England. Chutney was one of the best ways to soften the meat. Yes. You see, not everyone likes meat tough or hard. They like it soft, edible. I'm sorry, I digress. Okay, that's a dirty plate that goes in the dishwasher. Thank you. There you go. All right, we have to make some rice. Okay, come on in, guys. Hopefully that person is gone now. They're not watching the show anymore. One can always hope. All right, you see that wonderful pork dish? We need a little spray and oil on here. So I'm going to put a little olive oil in the bottom of this. This is my ricer. Again, you can replace this with peanut oil or safflower or sunflower. I like those oils because they don't have GMOs. You can't grow GMO safflower. You see, bees are essential in the production of safflower. And they can't stand herbicides. Bees are smarter than we are, apparently. Okay, I'm going to take the onions and put those at the bottom of the ricer. See that? Nice glaze of onions. There you go. Now, because I'm cooking with pork, I'm going to add, as an herb, I'm going to add rosemary. Highly recommended. At the bottom of this. Just about a half a teaspoon. It really infuses a flavor into the pork like no other, and gives it that magical extra ingredient that you love when you're eating it. You're going, what is that I'm tasting? Well, it's either parsley, sage, rosemary, and wine. Okay, we can also add wine to this dish, by the way. The vinegar can be replaced by wine. You could also use fruit juice. And you know, you can use some of your older chopped ingredients. Like I've got some cabbage. You're going to kind of laugh at me here. But I've got some cauliflower and some cabbage that I don't know what to do with. It's been sitting in the refrigerator. I washed it off. And for extra flavor, I like to just take something old and do something different with it, you know? I'm trimming off it's a stalk. Both of them are stalks. I'm trimming off anything that just looks completely like I'd throw it away. Believe it or not, the inner core of stalks are full of very valuable antioxidants. And when you dice them up, they really do, they add somewhat of a bitter yet flavorsome blend and roughage to your rice. Nothing to give up. I mean, when you think about the cost of healthcare, you might as well invest a little bit in, you know, food that you would normally throw out. Same with this cauliflower. Cauliflower is a cruciferous vegetable, which makes it very beneficial. So I'm going to put that as a middle layer before I add my rice in my ricer. Just making good use of all kinds of ingredients. Use all that the base there. And that'll cook right into the rice. It'll be like an extra good roughage. All right. Man, that's roaring like a roaring boil there. I'm going to add some fruit juice, all of the fruit juice, to the pork dish. There we go. I'm going to take those pork pieces and rotate them as well. You know where I'm going with this, right? I'm going to take that up to level 8 now. It's like really going to infuse the flavors that are in there. Okay, how's everybody doing? I don't know if I can get Ed in the kitchen. I mean, the smell would be horrendous. I mean, you can only imagine. I mean, if you were dealing with smell-o-vision, putting some water on my eyes, getting that onion out of my eye. If you're doing smell-o-vision, Ed would be the last guy you'd want in your kitchen. I know. Talk about disgusting. Okay, garlic is really important here, so let's not forget the garlic. Got a nice big bulb of garlic. I put that in all my meals. You know that, right? Garlic is fantastic for you physically, but socially, I've lost friends over garlic. I had one guy tell me, he said, "Man, you reek." I said, "Hey, man, if you don't like my garlic, we don't have to communicate." Well, we still talk, but you know, he calls me when he's drunk all the time. So, anyway, you saw my method of doing the garlic, right? There we go. Little pound. Make sure the blade is away from you. Okay. Okay. Look at that roaring boil going on there. You never thought you'd have like roaring pork. I mean, you would never think this was going to turn out good. Because you can almost overcook pork. No, you can't. Take that back. You can't overcook pork. Unless it's burnt. Oh, that garlic looks so good. I'm going to throw it in there. So nice. Okay, I'm going to throw some of the garlic, half the garlic in the hot mix, and the other half I'm going to put in the rice. Okay, you haven't guessed what I'm going to do. You haven't figured this out yet. Remember those pears? Well, I'm going to actually throw those in the pork right now. I'm going to take those pears and just push them down in the pork juice, in the hard boil. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't have to be pears, it could be any fruit. But the chutney kind of kicked it off with a tamarind raisin taste, which is a unique automatic marinate or tenderizer. All right, and we're going to take this particular garlic and put it in on the top of that rice mix. Okay, I'm all set to rinse the rice. Doing pretty well on time. Disgusting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rinse that very well because they say rice has a high degree of arsenic in it. It just so happens that rice grows in wet fields, and wet fields oftentimes pull the alkalinity from the ground, and they found that rice tends to have arsenic on it. So I just give it a thorough rinse under a triple filter here. As you guys know, I quadruple filter my water, so when I'm drinking water, it's beyond pure. Listen to the sound of that boil. Hear that? Yeah. Rice does have trace amounts of arsenic on it, for real. Yeah, looking good. Those pears are cooking up with the pork. Everything's kind of melding. Yeah, you wouldn't want Graham Kerr, I used to watch Graham Kerr as a kid. And aside from having a stainless steel sink, I mean, I'm practically like him. He didn't have stainless steel sinks when Graham Kerr was around. They arrived on the scene, I think, in 1975, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe earlier. Does anyone know the origin of the stainless sink? I don't know. Oh, look at that, man. Just check that out. Would you just look at that? Would you just look at that? Look at it. I don't like watching Scooby-Doo. No, I never even saw the show. Would you just look at that? Hey, that rice is ready to go in the ricer. See that? And when I drop it in there, the white rice is on top. That's very important. Okay. Now comes the next step. I'm going to turn the flame down to nothing. I dropped it to 0. I'll let it calm down a little bit. That's what I call hard cooking the pork. Normally it takes 45 minutes for pork to cook. But because I'm hard cooking it, flash cooking it, and you're probably wondering what I'm going to do with that pork, right? Well, it's going through transformations. You're going to have to see. Don't believe it. I bring you another plate. Okay, remember this? That's the rice. It's going in the rice cooker. Yeah, well, Jackson, Sarah did this to me. She came in and she tried to interrupt the show. And yeah, it's really kind of sad. I know. I'm going to go out of that right now and go into people. There's no reason why I shouldn't be in people. Right? We're getting ready for her show. See, I do the metrics on this, and I know that people's a better place. Creative, Sarah? Really? Really? Okay. I'm in people now. You know, I would love a wireless lapel mic, but this mic is so much more fun, including the mic stand. I just think this is great. Okay, yeah, you got to check this out. You got. Would you look at this? Let's listen to the hot mic as I lift the cover. Wow. Okay. That's nice and hot, isn't it? Okay, notice how I have a plate underneath in case there's a problem. Watch this. Okay, I dropped a little pork in there, see that? The rest of the pork is still going to go on the stove, and it's going back to a level 3. All right. I'm going to take, and you don't need the mic there, so I'll go up here with the mic. But you're right, I really need to put the mic in me. I'm going to take a knife and a fork. Cut up a little bit of this pork that's here. And position it down toward the base of the rice dish. Just kind of push it right in there at the base. Okay? And I don't care if the pears are in there. It doesn't matter to me. It's going to add a little bit of flavor and protein to the actual dish. All right, same with the pears. You can cut those up, whatever. And if you're using pineapple, that works too. Mango works, papaya works, you name it, it works. Okay, now you'd think that would be enough water for the rice. Far from it. Rice takes almost, for 1 cup of rice, you need 1.5 cups of water. So I'm going to add filtered water to the top of that. And I'm going to add the all-important ingredient to this dish, which is salt. So you have to put some salt in here. I'm going to go for about that much salt. Maybe a little bit more. Unless that pork was seasoned or if it was sausage, you got to add salt. All right, let's get this going, and I'm going to just let it cook. I'm throwing it in over there. I'm going to put it on high, and it'll be cooking during the show, and it shuts off. Pretty good, huh? All right. Okay, now I'm sautéing the pork on a level 3. Yes. And we're almost pretty much done with the meal. What I have to do is pull that pork out, and the blueberries made it look repulsively disgusting. But once it's cooked, you won't even notice. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take that pork out of here once it's cooked a little longer, and I'm going to cut it up into small pieces with a fork and a knife. You'll see how good I am with a knife and fork. And we used all our ingredients. It's fantastic. Oh, I got a little more blueberry in there. You can throw that in the pan with it. The idea is that you're making a kind of a Polynesian pork dish, and you can't really rush it. You really can't rush it, so I really recommend slowing everything down. Yeah, completely slow. I mean, we're talking level 3. I could even take that to level low right here. Pretty cool. It's pork, and it's got chutney in it, and it's got mango, raisins. I didn't put raisins, but you could put raisins in it. Well, yeah, look, as you know, we get no donations, hardly at all. We got $40 of donations last quarter. People don't have a lot of money right now. The economy is completely screwed up. I could easily go buy tons of little things for the show, but as you know, we've been able to do the show for 7 years on a shoestring budget. When I say I spent $31 for this mic, I spent $31 for this mic. I don't live on a trust fund. Frank Taylor does. Yeah, I was never a trust fund baby. You know, there's a big difference. Somebody told me he had a trust fund from his family or something. Well, I don't know. Well, somebody said he had a trust fund he was living off. I may be wrong. Frank, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. Start singing. Oh, you like my show? Thanks. Okay, well, this mic is more sensitive in some ways than a lapel mic. I can hold it and I can interview you. What do you have to say? You know, I don't have a tight vest, and I'm not fat, so. Yeah, see, that's cooking. When that's done, it'll all be done. And when this is, well, you know, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start chopping this meat up. Let's bring it up. Start spreading the word. Okay. Now, while the pan is still hot and still cooking, in order to make this rice dish complete, you're going to have to cut this meat up. So I'm going to keep everything else cooking on the stove. So just like you would in a dinner, right? Bite-sized pieces. Okay, cutting it up. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to put it back in the pan when it's all cut up into bite-sized pieces. And then I'm going to cover it with more chutney from that container, which will bring up the salt, make it more soft, and the meat kind of breaks down over time. Pork is that way. It definitely improves over time. If you've ever had carnitas, it's incredible. It really is. It just melts in your mouth. Well, this pork is definitely cooked, but it can get a little more tender by sitting in juices. So remember that blueberry juice that I have over here? I'm going to add some more of that chutney. You know something? I might just finish that whole jar off. I think I've got enough meat to do it. Start spreading the word. I'm going to pull that fat off. Remember that fat? I did not want that fat. Nobody wants fat when they're eating meat. Nobody wants fat, period. Fat is the least liked thing in the world, really. People calling me fat. How dare you? How dare you call me fat? How dare you? Will you just look at that? Look at that. Just look at that dead flesh. Okay, back into the hopper. We're cooking up dead flesh. All right, back in there. Yeah, let's throw some juice on there. Let's bring that up to a level 3 again. Some more chutney on there. Excellent. Okay. I'll take a nice big tablespoon of this. All right, here we go. Oh, won't fit. Go to a long teaspoon. Yeah, I'm going to take and put... Yeah, I'm going to leave a little of the chutney for flavoring for another meal. I'm going to put that right on top of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix it all up. Yeah, I had to go back to the people section.
Oh, okay.
All right, and I'm going to let this cook on the stove for another half an hour. But I'm going to add, could you get that fruit juice over there?
Yep.
Right here, right behind the blueberry.
Oh, yes.
You know, this looks like it could really use
Just pour it
the
on.
whole thing.
Yeah, it does look like it. Could use it.
I'm just going to pour everything in the chutney bottle. See how adaptive I am?
Adaptive.
Shake that chutney bottle. And throw it all on top and bring it up to a level, say 3 for a good 30 minutes. All right, we're done.
Done.
So what we've created here, folks, is a wonderful meat sauce when it's fully gelled and cooked and glazed. Let it come to a full boil and then let it set. And then you take your rice out of the ricer and you put it all in a big bowl like this. And you put your rice down first, and then you top it off with your pork dish and then mix it all around. Now you can add other things to the pork dish, more carrots, you can add peas. Peas are very common in England, to add peas to a chutney. You can do that. We might just do that to make the meal more rounded, but that pretty much wraps it up. All right.
Nice job.
Hey, thanks for coming in and watching. We're going to start the show off in the other room, and we'll get the pre-show going. So hang in there. Yeah. Vintage Pyrex was used today. Yeah. Pretty nice. All right. Good night. And see you for our next show on Thursday. We don't know what we're going to be serving until like Tuesday. It comes to us. Okay, take care, everybody. We'll be serving the dish in our regular show, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's served. Take care. Bye-bye.